Okay, I hope I'm audible to all students who are attending this lecture of Introductory Macroeconomics. Okay, we continue with our lectures on quantity theory of money. Okay, and the book I prefer to follow for my lectures on quantity theory of money, this is Gregory and Mankiw, fourth edition of this book. Principles of Macroeconomics by Gregory and Mankiw. Now, all students can recall that in the previous lecture of quantity theory of money, we had done how money had evolved. We had done the types of money called fiat money and commodity money. We had also done the measures through which central bank controls the quantity of money in the economy. We had done the open market purchase and open market sale of bonds in the previous lecture. We had done the functions of money in the previous lecture. Now, in this particular lecture, we intend to look at the quantity theory of money model. Okay, so this again is very important from examination point of view, this topic. Okay, so let's quickly go through this. Since people hold money to buy goods and services, more money they need for such transactions, the more money they hold. All of us know that the basic purpose of holding money is to make transactions in buying goods and services. And more goods and services we want to buy, more money we would be willing to hold for such transactions. So I can say that thus the quantity of money in the economy is directly related to the number of dollars exchanged in the transaction. Again, we are assuming that US is the domestic economy where our currency is dollars. Okay, and the quantity of money we will be holding in the economy is directly related to the number of dollar transactions we prefer to have, where transaction simply means buying goods and services. The more goods and services I want to buy, the more dollars I will be willing to hold to buy those goods and services. So all students can see that the quantity equation explaining the link between transactions and money is as follows. So all students can look at this equation. This equation is called the quantity theory of money equation, QTM equation. You can clearly see the components of this equation, which are as follows. M into V is equal to P into T, where M denotes the stock of money in the economy, V denotes the velocity of money. Now, what does velocity of money capture? If I talk about dollars as being the domestic currency, velocity is going to capture the number of times a dollar bill is exchanging hands with the public. Or I can say in another words, the number of times the dollars are in circulation in the economy is captured by velocity. All of us know the basic fundamental in economics that someone's income is someone else's expenditure. If I am spending money, it becomes income for some other person. So my expenditure is someone else's income. So if I go by this fundamental, it simply means that velocity is going to capture the number of times any dollar is circulating among the public. Okay, or is exchanging hands with the people in the economy. Okay, P denotes the domestic price level. In this case, we can think of P as the general price level in the US economy. And T stands for the number of transactions. So M into V is equal to P into T. So you can clearly see in my lecture note, I have explained this in depth. So T stands for the total number of transactions during the some period of time, say a year. It is the number of times within a year that goods or services are exchanged for money. So T is going to capture within a year how many transactions of goods and services are being made. Okay, and what does P denote? P denotes the price of a typical transaction, that is the number of dollars exchanged. So what will P into T capture? If you look at the right hand side, this is the right hand side. P into T captures what? P into T captures the dollar value of the transactions. Together, it captures the dollar value of the transactions. Whatever transactions are being made in the economy, what is the value of them? How do you find the value? Value is nothing but price into quantity. So price into quantity here is captured by the number of transactions. Okay, so clearly you can see that the right hand side equals the number of dollars exchanged in a year, which is captured by P into T. And the left hand side, what is left hand side? M into P. Tells us about the money used to make transactions. What is the money which is used to make these transactions, where M denotes the quantity of money and V denotes transactions velocity of money. And it measures the rate at which money circulates in the economy. In other words, we can say that velocity indicates the number of times a dollar bill changes hands in a given period of time. So you can think of M. M is nothing but the monetary base, or the high powered money, or the money which is printed by the central bank. M denotes the amount of money which is printed by the central bank, which is ultimately going to go into circulation among the public. And V is going to capture the rate at which the circulation is happening. That means the number of times any dollar note which is printed by the central bank, how many times that dollar note is changing hands among the public in a given year, is captured by velocity. Okay, so I have taken an example. I have taken the example exactly from the Mankiw book. Example makes it more clear. Suppose that 60 loaves of bread are sold in a given year at $0.5 per loaf. So what are my transactions? My number of transactions P are nothing but 60 loaves of bread per year. And what is the price per transaction? The price per transaction is $0.5 per loaf. So if I ask you, what is the dollar value of the transactions? P into T, which is $0.5 per loaf into 60 loaves per year, which is $30 per year. That means the amount of money needed in the economy is $30 to meet this transaction. In 1 year, 60 loaves of bread are purchased at a price of $0.5 per loaf. That means in order to make this transaction, the economy needs how much? The economy needs $30. Now, when the economy needs $30 to make these transactions, that does not mean that the economy has to print $30. No. So clearly you can see, suppose the quantity of money in the economy is only $10. That means the money which is printed by the central bank is only $10. Now you must be thinking how these $10 are used to make transactions worth $30. It is because every dollar is circulating 3 times within the year. So I can say my velocity is nothing but P into T divided by M. All of us know that M into V is equal to P into T. So what is my velocity? P into T divided by M. P into T is nothing but $30. Money which is printed by the central bank is $10. So velocity is 3 times per year. That simply means that every dollar which is printed by the central bank is exchanging hands with the public 3 times within a year. So in order to fulfill the demand of $30, central bank has to only print $10 because every dollar is going to go in circulation 3 times. So in order to fulfill the demand for $30 worth of transactions, central bank does not need to print $30 worth of money because the velocity is going to do its job. Central bank will only print $10 worth of money, where every dollar bill printed by a central bank, it will be circulating 3 times within the public. So clearly you can look at the interpretation. This means that for $30 of transactions to take place with $10 worth of money, each dollar must change hands 3 times within a year. So this was the, so V, remember V is also called transactions velocity of money. V is called as transactions velocity of money. Okay, so I hope all students are clear till here and have no doubts. Okay, now let's look at modification to quantity theory of money. So there is a slight modification which we are now going to make. Now you see that transactions are difficult to capture. It's difficult to measure how many transactions are made in a year. Also, the problem with transactions is that you know that all transactions are two-sided. If I am buying something, you are selling something. That means that transactions might lead to problem of double counting. Because if I am buying bread from you, ideally it's only one transaction. But if you record it from consumers and sellers point of view, from my point of view, it's one transaction. From the seller's point of view, it's another transaction. That means even though ideally it is one transaction, it may be counted as two, if you look at it from point of view of the consumer and the seller. So what we are now doing, we are now replacing the number of transactions by the total output in the economy Y. Because we are making transactions for what? We are making transactions for buying goods and services. So the problem with the equation which we have just done, M into V equal to P into T, is that the number of transactions are difficult to measure. So thus the number of transactions is replaced by the total output, which is Y. Because output we can measure using GDP. Output of the economy can be measured by calculating the gross domestic product of that economy. So instead of using transactions which are difficult to measure and are two-sided or bilateral, we replace T by Y. So we need to understand that transactions and output are related. Why? Because more the economy produces, more the goods are bought and sold. So you can think of transactions and output as closely related. More output produced in the economy will lead to more transactions of buying goods and services. So I can say that the dollar value of transactions is roughly proportional to the dollar value of output. The last line is telling us that you can replace P into T approximately by P into Y. The dollar value of transactions is nothing but P into T, and it's roughly proportional to the dollar value of output, which is P into Y. So we are doing this modification again because it is difficult to capture how many transactions are made, but it is easy to calculate the GDP of the economy. And since transactions and output are closely related, we can safely replace transactions with output. So now my quantity equation now becomes money into velocity is equal to price into output. M into V is equal to P into Y. Now what is V going to capture? So look at this. V in the above equation represents income velocity of money. Now income velocity of money is going to capture the number of times a dollar bill enters someone's income in a given period of time. So remember, transactions velocity of money captures the number of times a dollar bill exchanges hands with the public. Income velocity of money captures the number of times a dollar bill enters someone's income in a given period of time. Now, if you look at it, transaction velocity of money and income velocity of money, if you look at the only the interpretation slightly change, otherwise the concept is the same. Income velocity of money is not very different from transactions velocity of money. It just captures the number of times any dollar bill now enters someone's income. Okay, so suppose for example, if I say that income velocity of money is 3, it means that a dollar bill enters the income of any individual 3 times. If income velocity is 3, any dollar bill printed by the central bank is going to enter the income of a given individual 3 times. It's like saying that that same dollar bill is exchanging hands with the public 3 times. Okay, so this was income velocity of money. I hope students have understood the modified version and have no doubts. Okay, now let's look at the quantity equation and how to find the money demand equation from the quantity equation. Now our job is to find how the money demand function looks like, and we are going to derive it from the quantity equation. So let's look at this. Let M by P denote the demand for real money balances. Now remember, M denotes nominal money. I can write it here. M denotes nominal money. When I divide the nominal money by the price level, I get real money balances. So these are nominal money balances, and M by P denotes real money balances. Real money balances are going to capture how many goods you can buy with that money. M is just in dollars, nominal money balances. But M by P is going to capture the purchasing power of that money. How many goods and services you can buy with that money is captured by real money balances. So M by P denotes the demand for real money balances, which measures the quantity of money in terms of quantity of goods and services it can buy. So the real money balances measures the purchasing power of the stock of money. And a money demand function is an equation that shows the determinants of quantity of real money balances people wish to hold. So all students can see the money demand equation on their screen. Demand for real money balances is some proportion K of your income. Okay, demand for real money balances is some proportion K of your income. Let me make a clarification. When I talk about M by P, which is the real money balances, P here denotes the general price level. P denotes the general price level. That means when you divide the nominal money balances by the general price level in the economy, you get the real money balances, which is going to capture the purchasing power of money or the amount of goods and services you can buy with that money. Okay, so clearly you can see what is the determinant of money demand. How much money you demand is going to depend on your income. How much money you will demand will depend on your income. More income I have, if I have a higher income, I will want to make more transactions of buying goods and services. I will demand more money. If I have a lower income, my demand for buying goods and services will be less, I will demand less money. So I can say that my demand for real money balances, which is M by PD, M by P superscript D is some proportion K of my income, where K is a constant, which indicates how much money people want to hold for every dollar of income. So I can say that the above equation simply states that the quantity of real money balances demanded is proportional to the real income. Remember, Y denotes the real income. It denotes the real income or real output. Always remember, guys, real is always in terms of goods and services. Nominal is always in terms of money. Very simple. Nominal is always in money, real is always in goods and services. Okay, so higher income leads to a greater demand for real money balances. Okay, and now you can see that in equilibrium, in the money market equilibrium, the demand for real money balances must be equal to supply. So M by PD should be equal to M by P. So if I come to the whiteboard to explain this, that makes it more clear. So quickly I am writing M by P D denotes the demand for real money balances, where P denotes the general price level in the economy. So we have done the equation. Demand for real money balances is some proportion K of your income, where K is a constant and Y denotes real income. Again, real income is measured in terms of goods. So the money demand equation is simply telling us that our demand for real money balances is some proportion of my income. You can see the relationship between M by P and Y is positive. So I can write higher the income, higher is the demand for real money balances. Because if I have a higher income, I will want to buy more goods and services for which I need more money. Lower the income, lower is the demand for real money balances. Now M by P denotes supply of real money balances. M by P denotes the supply of real money balances, where M denotes the nominal money which is printed by the central bank, or I can say M denotes the nominal stock of money, where M denotes the nominal stock of money. Nominal stock of money held by the public. And P denotes the general price level. Okay, so M by PD denotes the demand for real money balances. M by P denotes the supply of real money balances. In the money market equilibrium, demand for real money balances must be equal to supply. So I can say that supply of real money balances should be equal to demand for real money balances. So supply of real money balances, what is the demand for real money balances? KPY. So this implies I can take K. Let me make this correction. This is KY. This is KY. M by PD is KY. I can take K here and P here. So M times 1 upon K is equal to Py. And if you compare this with the equation M into V equal to P into Y, what do you learn? So from star and star dash, you learn that velocity of money is exactly equal to 1 upon K. Velocity of money shares an inverse relationship with the proportion of income you keep with yourself in the form of real money balances. So I will be discussing from this equation in the next lecture of quantity theory of money. So this is where I stop. We will pick up from this equation in the next lecture of quantity theory of money. So I hope all students have enjoyed this lecture. Any doubt, you can unmute your mic and ask, or call up or mail me your doubts at divineschoolofeconomics@gmail.com. So this is where I stop in this lecture.